Welcome back. In this video, we will learn about my favorite tool in Excel and even in Microsoft Word, recording macros. Most of us will be familiar with Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. They are shortcuts for copying and pasting information. Wouldn't it be great if we could customize our own shortcuts to make life easier? For example, I might want to pick and highlight certain cells as I go along. Let's say I'm not sure about certain details in my grocery sheet. Like, do the apples really come in sets of 5? Is the price this amount? $8 seems a bit much. So as I go down my list, I want to highlight the information that I'm unsure of, and instead of moving the cursor from my selected cell up to the highlight key, we could record a macro for highlighting. In Excel, a macro is a shortcut you can program that Excel runs when it's activated. When you're ready to record the macro, go to the View tab, click on the down arrow, and select Record Macro. We can change our macro name at the top, and then select the shortcut keys we want to use. I personally like to use Ctrl+Shift plus any alphabet instead of just Ctrl and alphabet, so I don't accidentally overwrite pre-programmed useful shortcuts like the Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V I mentioned earlier. For now, I'll use Ctrl+Shift+D. We can store our shortcut in different places, but I suggest keeping it as the default, which is in the same workbook you're using. Then click OK. Now all the steps you do in Excel are recorded and can be played back later. So I can go ahead and add the highlight. So go back to the Home tab, click the highlight, and then we just need to go back to the View tab and stop recording. And voila, Ctrl+Shift+D is my very own customized shortcut. So not using my mouse, just using my keyboard here, go to Ctrl+Shift+D, and the second cell is highlighted as well. For further information on how to understand how macro is coded, you can go to the individual tab and click View Code. Then go to Module 1, double click it, and this is where your macro is saved. This is actually where I learned a lot about how Excel codes. I won't go into how to read the code here, that's a story for another day. Okay, so let's just go back to our Microsoft Excel page. Instead of using a shortcut, maybe you want to create a button where people can push to activate your macro. You can go do this by clicking on the Developers tab and inserting an ActiveX control over here. So we need the command button. If your Developers tab is not available here, then you can enable it by going to File, Options, under More. Go to the Customize ribbon and look for the Developers tab. Make sure that this is ticked. Once that's ticked, just click OK, and it should come up in your tab over here. As mentioning earlier, insert ActiveX control. So let's just draw a button here. Then, if your design mode is not activated, make sure that this is activated. So now it's on. And double click your button. Here you can insert the macro you want to use when the button is clicked by copying over the code from the module into your button sub. So I'll go to this code over here. So you just want to copy everything that's in between sub and end sub. Copy. And where was the button? Okay, I lost it. That's fine. We just go back, double click it. There it is. And we'll paste it. And then go back, and now once you unclick the design mode and you click the button, let's go to another cell here, you click the button, that cell will be highlighted as well. So once you click the button, Excel executes the program, and voila, you are a programmer. Now if you want to change the name of the button, you can just click it, make sure that design mode is on, right click, properties, and there are a lot of options here, but just want you to focus on the caption. Change it to whatever you like, so press here. Okay, and that's it. Now to ensure that I can use this shortcut in the future, it's important to save the file as a macro-enabled Excel file, which is in .xlsm. So save as, make sure that you change this from .xlsx to .xlsm. If not, the macro won't be safe, and the next time you open the file, your recorded macro will be gone. Now, this recording macro function can be used not just in Excel, but in Microsoft Word and PowerPoint as well. In this lesson, we learned about creating our own shortcut by creating macros. In the next lesson, we will learn more about guiding users to put in the correct information using data validation.